Hey guys, this is Natasha, back with you again with some more individualized tips on how to do your diamond paintings and make sure that they do turn out really exceptionally great. So some of the things that work great for me may not work great for everybody else, but that's just kind of why I have these kind of tips and tricks. So with my setup here, I have been doing the Starry Night painting just because it's got a lot of variety and it seems to be a very popular one people like to do. So with this one today, the tips and tricks will be about individualized locations and how do you complete it? Do you do it all by one color? Do you do it by individuals? You know, that sort of thing. So with this here, I've got my picture and I'm going to actually be turning it upside down because I rotate my pictures and work on them with what's easiest and best and kind of, make it easy on my end of it here. So with this, we've got a little section right here that's got a lot of different beads to it, a lot of different coating, and it's just a lot. So with my little index here, I've got everything, of course, sorted out, according to how the grid had it set up. So for example, I don't use the tray for everything. That little tray is good for a lot of things. Sometimes it's not always needed. So with this section here, I've got a little one here that's got beads. So let's get that set down. And that's why, if you look, I have an extra piece of wax. It's to keep my plastic in place. Trust me, I've been burned way too many times pulling the plastic off and then trying to put it back on and putting it on the wrong sticky side, and then it absolutely just tears it up and will not come off. So with this little guy here, typically what I like to do is just go directly from the pot. And you don't always have to just, finagle it and work on it. If you got a good little ball of wax on the end of it there, it'll pick it up directly. And then you can just put it in the one little spot that you needed for, 2 or 3. Sometimes there's even just a spot for 1. And then you'll just be able to put it down where you need to put it down. So with this one here, I'll set it a little closer, just putting it in there directly. And sometimes you'll get those extras, and if you give it a little shake, they'll fall off. Or you can tap it slightly on the side, and then it'll also fall off. But see how every single time that I'm doing that, I'm getting some good ones here. And they're coming directly on the end of it. Now see why it keeps grabbing? It's because it's going to be hard to focus on that. But there's an extra little piece of wax sticking off on the side, and so that little guy just needs to be cleaned. So typically just rolling your fingers around the edge of that wax gets the extra little wax clumps off of there, so that way then you can turn around and make sure you're just picking up the one that you need each time. So when it comes to this is a nice little tip and trick kind of thing. Instead of having to pour it out into your tray every single time, you can just directly go into your little container and pick one up. And if it comes up upside down like that little guy, just tap it, take it off, try it again. Or you can be a little bit more precise, and since this one's not too full, you can actually push down in there and get one that's actually, flat, and then put it directly on your painting. So that way you don't have to worry about pouring it over your painting into a tray just for 1 or 2 pieces, and you're just doing a little tiny section right there. So with this section here, there's a lot of different ones. Some people like to have multiple trays, and if you're like me, you've done quite a few of these. You've got a few trays that you can do, and then you can individualize them with the different colors. I like to keep a dry erase marker, just a nice little fine tip that you can actually put right there on the main part of it, what coat it is that you're doing. So if you're doing colors that are variations, but very slightly variations, like this one has a lot of different blues that are different variants. So in the same area, you can put, this is code X, this is code, V, and whatnot. So that way you know which one it is that you're working on, and you don't have to have your bags everywhere. You don't have to do things like that. So the dry erase markers are really helpful when it comes to this. And that's also what I used on my bead containers. I put it on the outside, whatever the code is, and then I flip it open and copy it and trace it on the inside, and then just wipe it away off the top. So that way this does not come off, you know, it's there. But when I'm done with this, and all I need to do is take my, you know, finger and or cloth or whatever and wipe it away, so I can start in the next picture quickly and easily. So these are just some of my little tricks that you can try to use for yourself, however you want to do. Some people like to do a whole section. So they'll take, you know, this color and they'll pour it in there, and they'll do every single one of it until that color's gone. Some people like to work in rows, so they like to do the exact thing over and over and over, every single line. As you can see, mine is pretty all over the place. I'm the type of person who will pour a little bit into the tray and then work it in whatever area that, you know, I'm in until that color's all gone, and then move on to the next color for, you know, what's the majority of I need to fill in at that point. So again, diamond paintings, it's all different for everybody. It's all about what relaxes you, and that's why I'm offering these tips. So that way you're not stressed out and figuring these things on your own. You can try what maybe works for me, and if it doesn't work for you, you know, tweak it till it does. So have a great rest of your day, guys. Have fun with your diamond paintings. Bye.